I'd like to welcome everybody this afternoon and ask if you would remain standing for the prayer of convocation led by Dr. Terry Hidachuk, who's the acting Dean of Theology. Terry?
Let us pray. Creator God, in whom we live and move and have our being, we thank you for the joy that fills our hearts this afternoon as we celebrate the accomplishments of those receiving honors and degrees at this convocation. We thank you for the love and support of parents, families, and friends that have encouraged, supported, and challenged those graduating through a mountain of times of accomplishments and the valley times of setback. We thank you for this university, its administration, faculty, and staff, in whom you breathe the spirit of justice, compassion, and wisdom, giving heart, mind, and soul to this place so that it can continue to shine as a beacon of light on this community and in the world. Creator God, you transform chaos into order. You change darkness into light. You dipped your hands into the dirt and muck of the earth, shaped and formed us into the image of love and justice and compassion, and then breathe life into each of us. Continue to shape us, form us into hearts, minds, bodies, and spirit that will be instruments of your peace, sowing love where there is hatred, granting pardon where there is injury, faith where there is doubt, hope where there is despair, light where there is darkness, joy where there is sadness. Creator God, from the beginning you have been with us. We trust you that you are with us still. In this moment and in every moment, we thank you. Amen.
Please be seated. Mr. Chancellor, distinguished guests, members of the graduating class, families of the graduates, colleagues, friends of the University of Winnipeg. I have the honor to declare open this 94th Convocation of the University of Winnipeg for the conferring of degrees in science, business, and economics. We're very pleased to be joined this afternoon by a number of distinguished platform guests, and I would like to introduce them at this time. I would ask that each person stand briefly as they call his name or her name, and I would request that you hold your applause until we have finished the introductions. Starting with the third row from my right to your left, Mr. Colin Russell, our registrar. Dr. Ken McCluskey, the Dean of Faculty of Education. Ms. Jean Duffy, Dean of the Library. Dr. David Fitzpatrick, Dean, Faculty of Arts. Mr. Rob Ben, Dean, University of Winnipeg Collegiate. Ms. Erin Stewart, Dean, the Division of Continuing Education. Reese Taylor, Fellow of the University of Winnipeg. Mr. Mike Cook, President of the University of Winnipeg Alumni Association. Mr. Tyler Blashko, Vice President Advocate, University of Winnipeg Student Association. In the second row, Ms. Ingrid Chuderum, recipient of the Robin Farquhar Award for Excellence in Contributing to Self-Governance. Reverend Dr. Harry Hidachuk, Acting Dean, Faculty of Theology. Mr. Bill Ballum, Vice President, Finance and Administration. Mr. Dan Hurley, Associate Vice President, External Affairs. Dr. John Cordup, Vice President, Academic. Ms. Laurel Rebsky, Vice President, Human Resources and Sustainability. Dr. Sandra Kirby, Associate Vice President, Academic and Dean of Graduate Studies. Mr. Richard Nakalzeni, Chief Operating Officer. Dr. James Curry, Associate Dean, Faculty of Science. And in the first row, Craig Lee, Chair of the University of Winnipeg Board of Regents. Ms. Valerie Gilroy, Corporate Secretary and Legal Counsel. Dr. Melanie O'Gorman, recipient of the Faculty of Business and Economics Chartered Accountants of Manitoba Excellence in Teaching Award. Dr. David Golden, candidate for an honorary Doctor of Laws degree. Mr. Robert Silver, Chancellor of the University of Winnipeg. The Honorable Aaron Selby, Minister of Advanced Education, Governor of Manitoba. And let me just mention, this is Minister Selby's first appearance at a convocation in her official capacity at this university. And we want to say, Minister, we sort of really appreciate your presence and appreciate the support your government has offered this institution. Thank you for being here. Dr. John Bullman, the Distinguished Chancellor Emeritus, University of Winnipeg. Dr. Michael Benarosh, Dean, Faculty of Business and Economics. And Dr. Rod Hanley, Dean of the Faculty of Science. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of special guests at the platform party and members of the Board of Regents who are seated in the audience to the left of our graduates. Please join me in thanking these guests for being with us this afternoon. Seated in front of me and serving as marshals are members of our faculty. These are the men and women whose wisdom and judgment and generosity have contributed so much to the personal growth and academic success of our graduates. And I would ask the group here this afternoon to join me in acknowledging these very gifted and dedicated people who are so much responsible for the success of this university. Please join me in recognizing our faculty. They are also joined by members of our staff, administration, alumni who are here to share in this celebration and who play essential roles in making this university an extraordinary, vibrant, humane place. And I join you in thanking them as well. Please. I'd also just like to welcome to the proceedings those who are watching by live webcast. This is a ceremony for all family and friends who are unable to join us in person today. I can promise you it will be an advertising-free afternoon, other than the few comments I might make along the way. So we welcome all those who are joining the ceremony online. I want to welcome everybody to this convocation where we honor the graduates of the spring 2011. It is that time in the life of the university when we take time and pause to give thanks for the enduring gift of learning that is the historic mission of this university. We are an institution that traces our founding roots back over 130 years. We're a combination of pioneers who came to the region, joined by First Nations who had signed treaties where education was a prime responsibility, Métis leaders who had governed this region for over a decade, came together to recognize the crucial role that education plays in the shaping of this community in the heart of the prairies. They gathered scarce resources to initiate, in particular, this college in the hard scrabble of prairie earth, right on this location, which at one point was occupied by Spence Creek. So if any of you think that you are being overtaken by the waters, they would be been properly paved over in the 100 years since then. But now we are part of the heart of the downtown of a throbbing, vibrant city which is on a roll. Since then, as successive generations of students and faculty, private and public sector supporters have taken time to interpret and translate the content and substance of learning to fit the time and tempers of the landscape that they live in, one that constantly changes and is in a state of flux. Throughout that, we have continually changed and carved out an ongoing commitment and relationship to this community, and the same holds true today. One point of continuity throughout this history has been the focus of the responsibility we feel at the University of Winnipeg to the future of the community, particularly as Each generation brings a broadening of the scope and reach of the learning that's required, and that we have to reach out further from our core prairie roots to encompass a much stronger and more active set of global influences that really influence everything we do. Today we are going through the same kind of generational transformation as our campus expands, improves on the basic infrastructure for teaching and research and community needs. In 2 weeks' time, we will be opening the Richardson College for the Environment and Science Complex, a model of green building technology constructed to highest standards of sustainability, giving us one of the most energy efficient and state-of-the-art facilities of any university in North America. In fact, it will be hosting, beginning next week, its first major national science conference with the Society of Environmental Toxicology and Chemistry being held under the tutelage of Professor Charles Wong, who's here today, and it would be an appropriate inauguration. This will be a truly state-of-the-art facility. For our science faculty, we will offer a learning experience that I think will be unique in Canada. The new facility will be joining a number of other new facilities we've experienced on your time on campus as members of this graduating class. The new residence, which many of you are living in, the child care facility that is used by a large number of students and faculty, the Buehler Center housing our new business and economics department, as well as our continuing education faculty, and the new theater building. And just this summer, we look forward to the completion of the annex, which was once known as the bus depot, which will offer a greatly expanded bookstore, restaurant, medical clinic, and computer store to fill out the range of services that we provide to our students. This is to say nothing of the fact that just last week our food services, our diversity restaurants, were recognized in the Globe and Mail as offering innovative, organic, diversified menu. I think it's the first time that any university in the country has had a review of its food services, putting it in the 5-star class. So we have made some changes from previous years, and I hope you're all feeling healthier and more nutritious based than you did when you first arrived here 3 or 4 years ago. But, and this is the point I guess I really want to make this afternoon, is what really defines us are the students who bring their wide range of interests and talents and outlooks to make each graduating class a very unique blend of personality and identity with achievements all of their own. Each of you have your own stories. Each of you have had your own experiences. The combination and the integration of those has helped give a special definition to this class, as it has in classes previous, as it will in graduating classes in the future. A brief scan will give you some sense of who the class of 2011 are as they present themselves today. Close to 60% of the students here now are women. It's a major change in the demographics of higher education taking place at the university and across the country. Many of our students, as you well know yourselves, are engaged in part-time work in order to meet the financial demands and to meet the kind of requirements to oftentimes support families, keep a commitment and engagement in the workforce. This is really part of who we are. And the rough computation by our registrar's department said that the average age is about 22. As I commented this morning, it makes those of us on this platform who have any sensibility would give away virtually everything we have if we could be 22 again and start our adulthood in another form or manner. But this particular brief scan only hides a diversity that really is unique. One of the other real interesting developments is the doubling of international students that have come to this university, mainly from countries in Africa and Asia. They have become highly valued members of the University of Winnipeg community and contribute to the cultural and global fabric of our campus. We have a student from Chile, Diego Contador, who came to Manitoba to live with his uncle, worked up in Norway House to save money, and then became a member of our Westman volleyball team. His abilities on the court earned him scholarships And he is giving back by teaching children at Rossbrook House the abilities to pursue both athletic and academic achievements. We are also witnessing a growing student body of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit students. A prime example is Nicole Furland, a member of the first graduating class of our Bachelor of Human Rights degree this morning, who's just been awarded an internship at the International Labour Organization in Indonesia, working on the issue of youth employment. Her intention is to come back to this community and apply those particular experience and skills. So I think we can all see that within this student body, there really is a fascinating variety of stories that accompany each student and held together by a common and strong bond, which is the desire to learn, a desire to have their own dreams and sense of opportunities that a higher education can provide. That's what brought you here in the first place, and we are very pleased that today you can cross the stage and receive a diploma that is a signature of being able to achieve that outcome. One way that this university can use the special moment of convocation is to present to the graduating class, as members of that class, groups of leaders who by their own lives and outlooks and achievements have provided a model, a lesson, an example of how the human capacity continually expands to excel, to make a difference. Among our honor degrees this morning was a man who has spent his life making the cause of human rights around the world his dominating passion. Today, this afternoon, we recognize a Rhodes Scholar, a war veteran, a former prisoner of war, a resident of Winnipeg, a man who has achieved an enormous presence in the public service, leading in the development of some of the most important technology, science developments in the history of the federal government, and going on to a substantial career in space development and Telesat satellite development. His visionary insight bridged the worlds of government and business to help them work together for the benefit of Canadians around the world. We are also celebrating a distinguished member of our faculty who's receiving an important award that will acknowledge the excellence of teaching, and that we are very much so pleased that that gives us a sense of just how much the commitment has been made by members of our faculty. We also celebrate a staff member who I can say in a personal sense has brought a true sense of service and commitment by making this university a place where people prevail. Ingrid Trudering has been involved in the capacity of this university since 1976, taken on a variety of administrative positions, and has worked with energy, smarts, and a great respect for those she has worked with. She will be earning the Robin Farquhar Award for Excellence in Self-Governance. These honorees become part of the graduating class. They lend luster and significance to the convocation experience. I hope members of the class will take them and heed their legacy that they leave and the definition that they give to the special experience that you will have today. Because in a sense, part of the convocation is a form of transference, returning over to your class the task of continuing the journey of students who have gone before and indeed will succeed you. You take your degree at a time of great ferment. Change is the watchword, which means you will face both opportunities and risks that change always brings. If there's one characteristic, it's a world that has become wide open, unstructured, in an unprecedented way. Conventional wisdoms are being challenged. Institutions that have stood the test of time are now having to refit and reset themselves. You will confront amazingly new, diverse job markets, social landscapes, new niches in lifestyle and personal feelings. The climate is changing. The nature of work is changing. The way we communicate is being revolutionized. And perhaps most vividly, young people in various parts around the world are turning over old tyrannies, risking their life to gain a better life, a chance to exercise their rights for freedom and choice. So I asked the question to members of this class, where do you fit in? What's your definition of how you, in your own unique way, will provide for a change in the common good? What new discoveries, ideas, improvements will you make to the betterment of yourself, your family, your community, and indeed to the broad breadth of humanity that is all of our responsibility to serve? After 7 years of watching graduates walk across the stage, I've become more and more intrigued by the mystery of those questions. It's one of the privileges of being able to share this day with you, because we recognize that so much lies ahead that is yet to be defined, that each and every one of you has a potential that is yet to be fully tapped. But we are all here as members of faculty and staff, family and friends, to wish you well and share a confidence that the steps you take will be those in the right direction. David Brooks of the New York Times wrote just about 2 days ago that today's grads enter a cultural climate that preaches the self as the center of life. But you will soon discover that the tasks of life are at the center. Fulfillment is a product of how well you engage in those tasks. Most of us, admittedly, are self-concerned most of the time, but it's also true that life comes to a point only in those moments when the self dissolves into some mission, some purpose, some achievement that makes one feel larger than life itself. The purpose is not to find yourself, it's in some ways to live yourself in the work and commitments that you make, the passion and commitments that you acquire. That's what gives meaning to your presence here this afternoon. If there's one spirit that I hope will motivate your journey, it's captured in the words of the 14th century Sufi poet Hafiz, who wrote, "Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, 'You owe me.' Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky." I think that is what we hope for all of you, that you will help to lighten the sky for yourself and for generations to come. It is now my pleasure to call upon our esteemed Chancellor, Mr. Silver, Robert Silver, to confer special honors on Dr. David Golden, a leader in satellite technology and a dedicated public servant. He will be introduced by Dr. Michael Benarosh, Dean of the Faculty of Business and Economics. Dr. Golden and Dr. Benarosh, please come forward.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present David A. Golden. David has made his mark by launching a distinguished career in public service that spans close to half a century. He has significantly contributed to making Canada a world leader in science, advanced technology, and telecommunications. David was born to Russian immigrants who fled the pogroms of Russia to the Canadian prairies. After moving around Canada, they settled in Winnipeg, and at the age of 11, David began studying in schools in Winnipeg. Born in Sinclair, Manitoba, and despite his family's extreme poverty, he followed a path to higher education. To pay for this, in grade 12, David took a paper route and worked at the racetrack. He was able to save enough money to enter law school, and at the age of 21, graduated with his degree in law. He was then granted a Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford University, which he deferred to serve his country when he enlisted with the Canadian Army during World War II. After he survived 4 years in a Japanese prisoner of war camp in Hong Kong, he returned to complete his studies as a Rhodes Scholar. After beginning a career as a lawyer in Winnipeg, David moved his family to Ottawa and he impressively rose through the ranks of the Canadian Public Service and became the youngest deputy minister in Ottawa in 1954 when he served as Deputy Minister of Defence Production under C.D. Howe, and subsequently Deputy Minister of Industry. David chaired the Parliamentary Centre of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and presided over the Air Industries Association of Canada. In 1969, David embarked into the world of telecommunications when he oversaw Telesat as the first president. In this role, he helped establish a number of satellite firsts in the world and provided an important service to Canada and Canadians. Under his leadership, Telesat launched Anik A1, the first commercial domestic communication satellite in geostationary orbit, making history. Post-retirement from Telesat, David continued to serve on various boards, including the Atomic Energy of Canada, Mitel, Pratt & Whitney Aircraft of Canada, Provigo, and the Conference Board. At the age of 89, he was elected to the Telecommunications Hall of Fame, and at the age of 90, he received the John Chaplin Award of the Canadian Space Agency. Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate, I request that you admit David A. Golden to the degree of Honorary Doctors of Law in recognition of his leadership as a public servant, his work in the field of communications technology, and for his insight in bridging the worlds of government and business to help them work together for the benefit of all Canadians.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of the University of Winnipeg, I admit you, David Golden, to the degree of Doctor of Law honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining.
I'm going to ask Dr. Golden to sign the registry and then to address members of the graduating class. Dr. Golden.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, distinguished guests, and fellow graduates. I feel rather at home here. I went to law school with the uncle of your chancellor. I remember a young Lloyd Axworthy arriving in Winnipeg, in Ottawa, as a freshly minted MP from Winnipeg. I must say, we both cast a somewhat smaller shadow in those days than we do now. And I entered the workday world at the age of 14 by getting a paper route of our Chancellor's Free Press. So I feel very much at home. I'm honored to be a graduate of the University of Winnipeg, and I'm pleased for another reason. Outside of my immediate family, most people believe that I died years ago. I'm gratified that you think otherwise. When the President phoned to ask me if I would be available to receive this degree, I was happy to accept. At last, I thought, I will have a captive audience after all these years to whom I will relate the whole story of the creation of Telesat Canada, and an interesting story it is. Here we had a scientific and technology-oriented corporation with a unique corporate structure, and here you had me with no technical background or even aptitude. In fact, as was well known, I had a black rotary telephone, and when the person on the other side said, press 1, I hung up. Also, I wanted to point out the Winnipeg connection. Alan Gottlieb was the Deputy Minister of Communications during the discussions which culminated in the decision that Telesat would be a commercial corporation despite the significant government investment. Marshall Crowe was the Deputy Secretary of the Cabinet during the meetings which resulted in crucial decisions regarding Telesat's procurement policies. Murray Auld, the president of Bristol Aero, was one of the outside directors appointed by the government, and he was a great help to me over the years. While I was getting my thoughts in order, I received a letter of instruction from the university. It said in part, and I quote, "Your address should be approximately 5 minutes and should focus some on the ideas and advice you would like to share with the students." Well, I thought, there goes my last chance to write or rewrite history. I will adhere more or less to the instructions about the length of my remarks. But at the risk of having my degree revoked, I do not presume to dispense any advice. I have made my mistakes, and you can make your own. We live in the most wonderful country in the world, and the opportunities that lie before you, despite some present difficulties, are boundless. When someone emphasizes the problems facing some graduates, and I do not minimize them, I ask, would you rather have graduated 70 years ago in the middle of a terrible war about to become even more cataclysmic? We live in a changing, challenging, and exciting time, and I envy you your place in these times. Congratulations and good luck.
Well, thank you, Dr. Gould. I would want to say for the record that's the first time I've ever had a deputy minister listen to my instructions before. I'm now very pleased to invite Minister Selby, Minister of Advanced Education, to bring greetings on behalf of the government of Manitoba. Minister Selby.
Hard act to follow. I would like to thank Chancellor Bob Silver, President and Vice Chancellor Lloyd Axworthy, the Board of Regents, members of the University Senate, invited faculty, staff, family and friends, and of course students for letting me share this day with you today. I had full intentions of spending the entire afternoon with you, but House is sitting right now at the legislature, and I've been warned that I may be called back to a vote. So I apologize if that happens, but I think that Vice Chancellor Axworthy can agree with me that the caucus whip is named that way quite literally. Don't want to mess with that. As Minister of Advanced Education and Literacy, I want to thank you for choosing Manitoba as your place to study. And whether you were born here or you came here for school, I'm really proud that the reputation of the University of Winnipeg led you here. I know that some of you at this point in your life will feel the need, with degree in hand, to explore the world, and I know that you will make a valuable contribution wherever you plan to go. But let me take a moment right now and take the liberty to speak on behalf of the entire province and tell you that you and the skills that you have acquired will always be welcome here at home. But I'm also going to take a moment to speak on behalf of your parents, because they think it's time you moved out. Now, I know that there are some of you here today who have been picturing this day for years, and way back, maybe in elementary school, maybe in high school, you knew exactly what day you would arrive here and what you would be graduating from. But there are probably others here who just a few months ago weren't sure that you were going to actually make it to this day, this graduation day. But all of you, whatever your path was to get here, you showed courage, determination, and tenacity to make it to this graduation. I'd like to spend a little bit of time talking about courage, because it comes in many forms, and in some cases it's obvious. And I know that some of you will choose careers that will test your courage on a regular and very public basis. But for others, your triumphs will be more quiet and more personal. And although just as important, there won't be any parades thrown in your honor, and I know that some of you prefer it that way. I have 10-year-old triplets, and they often tell me that they're afraid to do something. They're too scared to ask the teacher a question in class, or they're too shy to stand at the front of the room in ballet. And they tell me that sometimes it's hard to look at grown-ups that they don't know in the eye. They tell me that they don't have courage. But being brave and having courage doesn't mean not having any fear. The person who's fearless and jumps out of a plane hasn't shown courage. Courage is having fear and doing it anyway. Courage is walking through your fear with reason and thought and finding your way to brave. Now, I'm not giving you this as an excuse to do something stupid tonight after Convocation. We're not actually talking about jumping out of planes. I'm talking about challenging yourself. You've done that already. You're here. Keep going. Do something that scares you. Do something you think you can't do. Even better, do something no one else thinks you can do. Prove them wrong. You're not too young, too old, too short, too tall. All of those excuses that are in your head are other people's excuses. Because at everything in life, somebody somewhere had to be the first one to do it. And I'm sure right now in this room, there are plenty of people who were the first person in their family to finish high school, the first one to go to university, and right here in front of me, there is probably someone who's the first in their family to get a degree. You all have something to share with the world, and I actually think it's your obligation to figure out what that is. And I know this sounds a little corny, but the future is yours to shape. You'll need a little courage, and you'll need a little luck. But as a University of Winnipeg graduate, you now have all the tools that you will need. Congratulations to you, to your family and friends who have supported you along this journey, and I can't wait to see what all of you do next. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Selby. Your message is well received, and Dr. Golden, we're still thinking of the contribution that you've made, and I would like just to add a personal note that one of the other contributions, Dr. Golden and his wife is one of our distinguished members of our faculty, is his son, and I think we are very pleased that we can continue that family connection. Thank you very much. Now we come to the time where we recognize the dedication of those in faculty and staff who have really earned respect of their peers and of all of us in the university. I would first like to invite Ms. Ingrid Truderin to step forward to accept the Robin H. Farquhar Award for Excellence in Contributing to Self-Governance and give, on behalf of all of you, congratulations to Ingrid for an incredible period of dedication and time to the University of Winnipeg. Ingrid, please step forward and we'll give you the award. And now I would like to invite Dr. Melanie O'Gorman to step forward to accept the Faculty of Business and Economics Chartered Accountants of Manitoba Teaching Award, a new award which has sort of been brought forward by this association to honor those who are leading in the field. And Dr. O'Gorman, we really appreciate the incredible commitment you've made to students and to your research. Congratulations. Okay, we've come to that part of the program that graduates, your family and friends are here to share and have been eagerly anticipating. The Registrar, Mr. Colin Russell, will present the graduates. Our Chancellor, Mr. Robert Silver, will confer the degrees. The parchments will be handed to the graduates by Associate Dean of Science, James Curry, and the Dean of Business, Sir Michael Benarosh. Is that correct? Each graduate will be presented with a University of Winnipeg alumni pin by the President of our Alumni Association, Mike Cook, and the President of the Students Association, representative here. Sorry, thank you. Yeah. So, this is an important moment. It's a rite of passage, occasion for celebration, for friends and family, and particularly those who have helped them on the way. As Mr. Selby said, there's a lot of people in this room have worked very hard. So I would invite all of you to express your admiration of our graduates or any particular graduate as they cross this platform. I'd now like to call Mr. Russell and Chancellor Silver, please, to initiate the convocation.
Would the graduates from the class of 2011 please rise as their degree is called and remain standing while the other degrees are announced. Master of Science. Bachelor of Science Honors. Bachelor of Science 4-year. Bachelor of Science. Bachelor of Business Administration 4-year. Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Arts Honors in Economics, Bachelor of Arts in Economics. Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate, I request you to confer upon these candidates and upon those receiving their degrees in absentia the degree for which they have qualified.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of the University of Winnipeg, I admit those present and those receiving degrees in absentia to the degrees for which the prescribed studies have been completed with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining.
Congratulations, you are now graduates of the University of Winnipeg. Please shift your cap tassels to the left.
So we will now invite the graduates to come forward one by one. Mr. Russell, please.
Thank you. You may be seated. I will present the graduates from the class of 2011. The graduates of Master of Science, receiving the Governor General's Gold Medal for the highest standing in a master's degree, Christian A. Jonassen. Adriana Rocio Suarez Gonzalez. Nasita Zarin. Leping Zhu. Now the recipients of the Bachelor of Science Honors degree, receiving the Chancellor's Gold Medal for the highest standing in Science Honors course and the University Gold Medal in Chemistry Honors course, Alana Hallis. Receiving the University Silver Medal for the second highest standing in science, honors course, and the University Gold Medal in Biochemistry, honors course, Zachary Corso. Tyler John Atchison. Sarah Ann Beatty. Joshua Joseph Bolding. Allison Joy Bredham. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Physics, honors course, Dylan Earl Hedges Buer. Jonathan Carl Chalice. Brian Michael Desotel. Sasantha Nilman Fernando. Andrea Kathleen Globa. Victor Mingzhu Gong. Rebecca Ann Hebert. Carrie Roxanne Kosinski. Michael Lang. Jordan Sean Lerner. Brittany Rebecca Lynn. Tony Mantler. Alex Mello. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Mathematics, honors course, Matthias Pilan. Patricia Lynn Roach. Allison Smith. Jessica Marit Stromberg. Phoebe Jean Ann Thiessen. Alyssa Marie Vergata. Receiving the University Gold Medal in a student-designed major, honors course, and a Natural Science and Engineering Research Council of Canada Graduate Scholarship, Alana Westwood. Kyle Gregory White. And now the recipients of Bachelor of Science four-year degrees, receiving the Chancellor's Gold Medal for the highest standing in science four-year course, the University Gold Medal in Biology four-year course, and the University Gold Medal in Environmental Studies four-year course, Megan Lee Seddon. Receiving the University Silver Medal for the second highest standing in science four-year course, and the University Gold Medal in Biochemistry four-year course, Donna Lee. Ruel Aferong. Christy Bailey. Grant Baynard. Renee Bennett. Cassandra Bouchard. We have a student who was in his graduating year this year and passed away during the year, and the Senate has granted him a degree posthumously. I wonder if everyone would mind standing for a moment and having a moment of silence for Andrew Lang Budge. Thank you. Andrew's brother Shay is here to receive the diploma on his behalf. Rochelle Marie Budge. Tyler Clearwater. Troy Michael Dida. Alicia Dawn Dudich. Amanda Lee Marie Dumont. Jennifer Ethans. Jessica Ann Falk. Danielle Maria Gadsden. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Statistics four-year course, Catherine Ann Forsyth Galloway. Zoe Kathleen Glover. Danielle Gannett. Cale Scott Hildebrand. Justin Matthew Hurd. Jordan Dale Janice. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Philosophy General course, a Bachelor of Arts, as well as the Bachelor of Science degree, Brian B. Kaler. Cara Lee LaFosse. Diep Lee. Robin Tess Makowski. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Physics, 4-year course, Jesse Isaac Marantz. Joshua Luke Markham. Also receiving the Bachelor of Arts, Derek Mickelson. Winnie Muyombano. Jennifer Alice Miles. Alexandra Natalik. Jillian Aylin Nuzitzer. Chinez Nwamalubaye Ofadile. Ryan Michael Olischuk. Megan Ann Pachelek. Also receiving the Bachelor of Arts Honours and the Canadian Association of Geographers Undergraduate Award, Kim Palmquist. Kira Lynn Palido. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Biopsychology, 4-year course, Matthew James Henry Pierce. Karen Elizabeth Rispler. Jillian Lee Ramore. Marianne Serrano. Candace Lynn Stonebridge. Peter Han Yu Tan. Robin Gabriel Super. John Titus. Alexa Ray Toop. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Geography 4-year course, Justin Michael Waito. Kara Dawn Wasilishin. Christopher Watts. Lauren Whitaker. Kaylee Dawn Mabel Woodward. Receiving the Bachelor of Science degree, Heather Dawn Alexander. Joyce Isabel Aquino. David Carl Barchette. Courtney Elma Robin Bertholet. Kiranpreet Brar. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Mathematics, General Course, Fabian Jeremy Brule. Jamie Campos. Nellie Johanna Castillo Pilcol. Ruchi Chiba. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Chemistry, General Course, Yvonne Wassel Chuchman. Stuart Derek Kotick. Brianne Jade Dirk. Brittany Danielle Dirksen. Gerline Kaur Dollywell. Rochelle Andrea Dixon. Adam George Edward Erickson. Jared Joseph Fitzpatrick. Megan Kendra Flynn. Daniel Cornelius George Fraze. April Rose Gabisan. Vincent Joshua Gallo. Christine Marie Garand. Jemily Gonzalez. Lindsay Marie Grabner. Christopher John Graham. Rui Guo. Timothy John Hebert. Hikyoung Jang. Olujimi Jegede. Chuang Jiang. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Bioanthropology, General Course, Jonathan Kirupakaran. Na-eun Lee. Carlene Elizabeth Luchka. Nicholas Malistravich. Oksana Maraschak. Shubha Mathur. Charlie Anna McDonald Mitchell. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Biopsychology, General Course, Adriana Christine Mooch. Dinda Faith Musyoka. Christian Nathan. Samuel Peter Neufeld. Febi Jesusola Oyeliana. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Physics, General Course, Rainer Carlos Eleazar Padilla. Adam Paul Pelashati. Stephen James Pierce. Bonibel Ann Rebenke. Rebecca Danielle Yvonne Rittberg. Shannon Lee Robinson. Ann Sam. Laura Chesley Scott. Rachel Laura Searle. Mala Sharma. Prabjit Singh. Tao Sun. Fabrizio Justin Tarantola. Christine Mary Taraschuk. Ivan Tat. Christopher Walmsley. Navsharan Kaur Warich. Receiving the University Gold Medal in Applied Computer Science, General Course, Cian Joseph Gabriel Wally. Jeffrey Brian Wheeler. Weiguo Zheng. Now the graduates from Bachelor of Business Administration four-year program, receiving the Chancellor's Gold Medal for the highest standing in Business and Economics four-year course, the University Gold Medal in Business Administration four-year course, the Certified General Accountants Association of Manitoba Prize in Business Administration, Jiamin Liu. Adiolo Aditola. Wenki Chi. Corey Abraham Coker. Sean Thomas Espy. Ashley Shira Faintuck. Mallory Jan Gomez. Kayla Cristina Guevara. Quincy Huang. Xiaonan Qi. Sean Darrell Klim. Maria Elizabeth Clearwater. Jonathan Stewart Lako. Thomas Hoyin Lai. Yan Fei Li. Luis Amado Mejia. Fernanda Marquez dos Reyes. Jared Michael Romanishin. Carly Shawn. Chao Wang. And now the graduates of the Bachelor of Business Administration, receiving the university's Chancellor's Gold Medal for the highest standing in Business and Economics, General Course, and the University Gold Medal in Business and Administration, General Course, Dongmei Zhang. Jawad Ahmed. Duncan Stephenson Antoniuk. Jivanjot Singh Bular. Gladys Wanjiru Chege. Salman Chowdhury. Rory Patrick Egan. Danielle Grabowski. William Ho. Charlene Isla. Hardeep Kaur. Yupu Lee. Alexandra Ufuoma Okobaro. Devon Laurel Ostapik. Sure. Go ahead. Elizabeth Rubottom. Christine Padpad. Angel Pramika Pereira. Jin Chi. Stanislav Shoket. Michaela Robinson. Nicholas Serafino Cornelius Romeo. Jessica Alexis Rosmus. Anita Nadia Sicharan. Jonathan Villa. Wang Jiao. Jessica Ann Wolfe. Hyo-Ching Wong. Mu Zhang. Su Chao Zhang. Xin Yu. Ling Zhao. Andrew Paul Zimewski. Receiving both the Bachelor of Arts Honours in Economics and the Bachelor of Business Administration 4-year, and the University Silver Medal for the second highest standing in Business and Economics 4-year course, Michael Jeffrey Long. Ayodele Charles Beckley. Stephen Tyler Guzecki. Paul Allen Shirtliff. Xiao Yi Sun. Now, the graduates of the Bachelor of Arts in Economics, receiving the Lieutenant Governor's Medal for the highest standing in Arts, General Course, and the University Gold Medal in Economics, General Course, Jean-Pierre Roger Denisset. Sarah Marie Bodowski. Wing Yi Chan. Oluwaseun Lloyd Kuyinu. Colin Eric George McFadden. Anton Pleska. Ji Wang. Sergei Yarmolenko. Se Zhu. Ladies and gentlemen, the Science and Business and Economics graduates of the class of 2011.
I'd like to thank the Chancellor and Mr. Russell for their sort of deft and adept handling of that very important rite of passage. I also would hope you would join me in thanking our signers who have helped us communicate in an effective way. Please give them a great hand. And of course, our congratulations to the graduating class. I now invite Mike Cook, who is president of the University of Winnipeg Alumni Association, to welcome the graduates to the big University of Winnipeg worldwide global family. Mike Cook, please.
Good afternoon, newly minted graduates, and congratulations. I know today's a very, very exciting day for you in your history, and I can't help but feel the enthusiasm and the excitement that you all have, and we all have. Today's a graduation day for you. We're getting an NHL team back in the city. Woo! The Bombers are going to have a new home soon, and that's fantastic. And I just look what's happening around this university. We have new buildings sprouting up everywhere. When I came here a number of years ago, where we now have the beautiful science lab and McFeeters, it was a Winnipeg roller rink. It was a dilapidated building where all sorts of untold deeds occurred both in front of and behind that old building. This building here, I hate to date myself, but this building was a row of almost tenement housing, and it was all torn down a number of years ago. We have this beautiful facility. And where I used to shop for my tenting supplies over at Army and Navy, that building's long since gone. We have a new, beautiful faculty, the Buehler Center there. We have the CanWest Global Arts Building. Everything's changed so much, and I think that shows the dynamic nature of this university and how it's a world leader in education. And I think for each and every one of you to graduate from a university like this, you're blessed with a marvelous, marvelous degree. And I don't know your background stories. I don't know how challenging your studies were. I can tell you that when I came here many years ago, I lived at home with my mom, and my mom said, "Your job, Mike, is to go to school and get good marks." So I had it pretty easy. My mom would do my laundry, she would make my meals. All I really did, I studied, I worked part-time, and I drove around in an old dilapidated car, and life was pretty good. So some of you may come from a background where your parents or parent or family members or friends take care of you, or you may take care of yourself. Some of you may have a very different lifestyle. Some of you may have your own families. You may have children that you're taking care of. And you may have all sorts of additional difficulties that I can't really even envision. But what I do know is that collectively, each and every one of you has worked very, very hard over the last 3 or 4 or more years. And you've done something pretty outstanding. You've received a degree from a university, and a marvelous university as a world-class leader in education. That's what we have here at the University of Winnipeg. And I hope you go forward feeling very proud and happy of your accomplishments. I think everybody in this auditorium is so very, very happy and proud of what you've done. You've overcome a lot of adversity, and I know there's been trying times where you've had assignments due, you've had tests coming up, and you feel really pushed to the wall, you feel you haven't had enough time to study, you don't know if you're going to do well, but you know what? You've done it. The fact that you're here today, walking across the stage, getting your diploma, it shows that you've persevered. And what it shows me too, and I think it shows all of us here, is that you've developed a lot of skills that you're going to take later into life. Life skills. You have, to use the common adage, you have a lot of tools in your bag right now. And you really do, because as you go forward, whether or not you go back to school for another degree or 2, or you enter into the working force in the weeks to come, or whatever you want to do, that's your prerogative. But I know, and I'm confident, that each of you goes into the future armed with a number of tools. You have shown yourself and the world that you have the ability to work hard, to overcome timetables, adversity at home, illness, things of that nature, financial difficulty. Am I going too fast? No? Okay. I feel sorry for you. So you've done something pretty phenomenal, and these tools will last you very well in life. You've learned some great life skills, and wherever your life paths take you, I hope you reflect back on these days at the university as some of the best years of your life, because I think they truly will be that. Whether you go on to another university or 2, I think this is a very hallowed, sacred place. Dr. Axworthy talked a little bit about the history of where we're situated, and it really is a marvelous history. And before I sit down, I just wanted to say that on your little card, the little pins that we gave you, on the back it gives you a website and or a phone number. What I would ask each of you to do, if you could please, contact either that website or the phone number and register your name as an alum. And president of the Alumni Association, as I am, I know we do some pretty great things for and with alum during the course of the year, and I'd like to invite you folks to participate in some of these events. Even if you don't participate, at least be kept abreast of what's going on, because I think you're going to have that affinity for the school for the rest of your life, and if we can keep, as an association, in touch with you and let you know what's going on, I think we're doing a good job as well, too. So congratulations to every one of you. Enjoy your evening and enjoy the times to come. Thank you.
I would like to mention that at the convocation this morning, the award for the Distinguished Alumni of 2011 went to Ms. Margot Goodhand, who is the editor of the Winnipeg Free Press, a graduate of class of 1979, and it was a very deserving award, and we are very proud of her, as we are of all our alumni. So I hope you'll take Mike's message to heart. Now, we are nearing the end of our ceremony, and it's the tradition of this university to give the last word to students. If we don't, they'll take it in any event. But it is a wonderful time for us to hear a representative of the graduating class. It is their day, and it's important that their voice be heard. So I'd like to invite Ms. Alana Rachel Westwood to the platform to give the valedictory address. Ms. Westwood, please.
Standing here, seeing so many familiar faces, we've all come such a long way. Staff, faculty, family, friends, and guests, we're grateful that you're here to support us on this momentous occasion. You all have been there for us on this road, and today, thank you for joining me in congratulating the University of Winnipeg graduating class of 2011. At the University of Winnipeg, things have changed in the 3 or 4 or 8 years we've been here. Graduate programs arrived at long last, and some of the first students to proudly hold their masters from this institution are sitting here today. Food services have changed, with the nightmare of Chartwells receding to distant memory. A few of us have even had to venture outside to new and different buildings for class in recent years. But more significantly, we have changed. I know I certainly have, from my days of tripping down the terrifying yellow staircases and getting lost in the tunnels beneath Wesley Hall. All of us are profoundly different than we were then. Here at the U of W, we have laid the foundations and values for the kind of people we want to be for the rest of our lives. We have many, many people to thank for this. I know I certainly do. Foremost, on behalf of all of us, thank you to family and friends. You were there every step of the way to support us, by whatever means you could, whether it was financial support, a sympathetic ear, or buying us a drink after a chemistry exam. Thank you to everyone who makes this university run so smoothly, from the administration to those at Soma and Diversity Foods. Thank you especially to those who clean up after us messy students. I want to thank academia's dirty little secret, the one we never admit, who helps us write papers, Professor Wikipedia. Also the maintenance department, athletic staff and coaches, the IT techs, security, the UWSA, you have all been vital to our experience, and on behalf of all of us, I sincerely thank you. I want to give special thanks to the professors. Professors, know this. Sometime this year, each of you has changed the life of at least one student. Whether by hiring us as researchers, introducing us to a topic that will become our life's passion, or giving us the guidance to pass your really hard exams, we want you to know that you've made an impression that will never be forgotten. As for my fellow students at the University of Winnipeg, I'm overjoyed to share this celebration with you. But we have to remember that looking forward, life is only going to get more challenging. Just as the social and academic hardships of high school now seem like child's play, so will the challenges of university seem insignificant in comparison to the ever more daunting future. There will be increasing global concerns, including human rights concerns, environmental degradation, inequality, and poverty, all of which require our informed participation. You will also face challenges in your professional and private lives. Every one of you will face things you can scarcely imagine now. But when you do, remember this: you're sitting here because of the challenges you've already overcome. No matter where we each came from, we all made it, thanks to hard work and those who supported us. We know what it's like to have a paper due in 4 hours and be staring at a blank page in the middle of the night. We've been through the grueling stress of timed lab exams, and I know that some of you here today have even been forced to hit that one last shot to win the game for the Westmen. There's no question university is challenging, but here at one of the top institutions in Canada, we have overcome, and now our experience has given us the tools to overcome whatever else life presents. There is one thing, though, that we haven't yet faced, at least not to the degree that we're about to. The U of W is an amazing place for so many reasons, but one in particular stands out. We were all accepted here, and I don't just mean into classes. No matter our race, gender, ability, culture, sexual orientation, or political beliefs, we all had a place. We've had a safe space to be ourselves. Though I wish it wasn't true, the real world isn't like that. When we get out there, we will encounter prejudice, intolerance, discrimination, and even hate. It may be directed at you, or at someone you love, or a complete stranger, but it is out there in a force we can barely imagine, buffered as we are within this academic bubble. This may be the reality of our world now, but it doesn't have to be. After all, it was you, the students, who made this a safe space. It's not always perfect, but we are just the latest in a long line of U of W students who have lived and breathed the ideals of progressiveness, diversity, and acceptance. Many alumni have gone on to be leaders in the arenas of political, social, and environmental justice. So I ask all of you, will you carry on that legacy? I'm not talking about grand gestures. We won't all accomplish the great deeds of those with whom I'm honored to share this stage today. But we can all stand up every day for the values we have learned and embraced here at this university. All of us have earned a degree, yes, but in the real world, what we've earned is the privilege to be recognized, to be listened to be respected. The ideas we have and the beliefs we hold beneath this cap are more important than ever before. We've been lucky to receive an incredible education. With the knowledge we have gained and the degree in our hands comes the power to determine our futures, but also to influence the world around us. I hope that wherever you go, whatever you do, you bring with you not just the letters after your name, but the values we've all shared at the University of Winnipeg. Graduating class of 2011, congratulations on all of your accomplishments. You've worked hard, you've earned it, you deserve it. I want to leave you with a challenge, though, the challenge of making this world a better place. What will you do with the power of your education? Thank you.
I want to thank Alana for those very fine words on behalf of the graduating class. And I would just like to, before we close, pick up on one of her themes, which is to recognize all those who have been involved in the support and the affection and the admiration that goes with each student along the way. We are very delighted that so many of you have joined us this afternoon, and I know how much pride and pleasure many of you feel at watching sort of one of the graduates cross this stage. So I would ask the graduating class, the new graduates, if they would stand in their place and turn in whichever direction they prefer and join with members of the university community in expressing appreciation for the support of family and friends for the work that they have done to enable you to graduate today. Please join us in that sign of appreciation. I should have mentioned tuition fees along the way as part of that. Before we adjourn, I would like to express my thanks to the marshals and ushers who were so helpful in organizing today's event and keeping us disciplined and on time. The organist Barry Anderson and the members of the Winnipeg Police Bike Band who every year join us to give us a lilt to our march and a song in our heart as we leave. I'd like to thank the members of the Alumni Association staff and the sort of people in physical property, particularly Helen Shalakis and Keith Bellamy and their team for a job well done in getting our facilities ready. And again, on behalf of us, particularly the faculty, for placing the students of this class, all students, first and foremost in the pursuit of excellence and the commitment that you have engendered and what we've heard so eloquently today. I would also like to thank our distinguished Chancellor, Mr. Robert Silver, for being such a really strong and effective supporter for this University of Winnipeg. Thank you, Mr. Chancellor. And finally, again, just a word of very deep appreciation to members of your graduating class. You've done us proud, and we are so pleased that we've been able to share this afternoon with you. Following this ceremony, I hope you will all join us in a reception in honor of the graduates that will take place along the Spence Street Mall and on the front lawn in what we call the Portage Commons. There will be refreshments provided by Diversity Food. There will be wonderful chamber music. There will be opportunities for pictures. You can buy picture frames from the Alumni Association. A grand time will be had by all, and I hope that you will stay around to just take further moments and relish in this very unique moment. Following the ceremony as well, I hope you will stay in your seats to await the academic procession and the platform party before they retire. I would now like to call on our registrar, Mr. Colin Russell, to lead us in the national anthem. Once again, congratulations, class of 2011.
Sons come.